Yeah. So what do you guys think about our new office? Isn't it cool? We have an office now. It's not real. There's no coffee. The table is not on the proper place yet. We don't have cabinets underneath. It's just... But we need to take the picture, you know? We've been working a lot on this bench. Then we need to somehow feel like we have an office at least. You like the office?
Yeah.
Let's show you how the table looks. I'm Duca.
And I'm Roberta.
And together we are building our own time shipping container house.
So don't forget to subscribe.
And to join us every Monday for a new episode.
We have a problem.
Like always.
We have this pile of wood that's leftovers from the wooden deck that we built on the top of the house.
Yeah, we were guilty of throwing away a lot of small pieces of wood, and we've been, you know, moving around the house. When we want to work here, we put this pile there. When we want to work there, we put this pile here.
One piece by one.
Yeah, and I guess now it's about time to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, not rid of it. It's about time to build something with it. We've been saving because we had plans for it.
Yeah.
And today we're going to start to put these plans in action.
The idea is to get all these small pieces of wood and glue them together and transform this in a wood bench for the top of our office desk.
Yeah, we're gonna do. They call, I think, butcher top or butcher block, I guess.
Oh.
That's like a lot of small pieces of wood glued together and becomes one big slab for the top of the bench. But in order to do that, we have all different thickness of wood there, so that means that we need to get them all to the same thickness, and we need to plane them all, but we don't have a fixer planer and we don't have a joiner. So the first plan for this episode is to try to somehow convert this hand planer that we just bought into a joiner, a small joiner, because the pieces of wood are always small, so it's fine. We're not sure if it's gonna work out, but we have some ideas on our mind. We search a little bit on YouTube and on Pinterest, and we're gonna try to copy pieces and, you know, small pieces from different projects and put this together. Hopefully we'll manage to do that. So let's get started. This is what we're gonna use. This is a pile of MDF that we bought as scrap pieces for, I don't know, $7 maybe? Yeah, I think it was like $7.
The whole
thing for $7, so it's really cheap. And the reason why we're using MDF is because it won't warp, they say.
We hope so.
Hopefully it won't warp, and as we want precision, we need to have something that doesn't warp.
First step, then.
Yeah. Okay. Second step, we needed to somehow lock the planer to the jig. I didn't explain the idea. Just let this cool. The idea now is that I'm able to
burn my finger.
So I'm gonna screw this in place, and I can, you know, smash this zip on here, and it's gonna make a mark, and then I can drill the hole. So now, basically, these need to be perpendicular. It's good. We need to raise this, otherwise the blade is too high.
Ah, yeah.
So we need to glue a stripe here in front also.
Strip?
We didn't. Yeah, we're gonna do like this. And now the blade is high. See?
See.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So there's one more thing. We need to hold the button in place. And to do that, we're gonna use a Velcro like this. I'm pretty sure it will hold. And now, first time we're gonna turn this on. I had no idea this would make this much of a mess. I think we need the vacuum. I guess now it's gonna be better. Not bad actually. I mean, it's not perfect yet, but getting there. What are you gonna do now?
We are gonna organize the wood. Sure.
Yeah. We need to decide the layers.
Yeah.
Because we have like all different sizes and kinds of wood, so we need to decide which, you know, the drawing of the table itself, so then we can plane and glue and cut.
So
let's do it. Yep, you're right. We're doing all over again. That's a mess. One thing we promised you since the beginning of this series is that we're gonna be as honest as possible. So we need to tell you the truth, right? Is that right?
yeah.
Truth. Well, after running some tests, we realized that the planer wasn't working properly. This time, for example, we chose a flat piece of wood and we made sure that the table was 100% square with the planer. After that, we ran the flat piece of wood a couple times through the planer using 0 inches as the planing depth. And that's the result we've got. Yep, something was definitely wrong with the planer. So we turned back to the store and all the same models work with the same problem. I don't get it. Maybe like a batch of bad planers, I guess. So that means that we need to change, and we bought a different one now. And now that means that we need to do the jig all over again, because the jig was made for that specific planer, and now we need to work on a different one for this one. Actually, we decided to adapt the old jig to the new machine.
Is that ready?
Yeah, I guess so. 10 seconds. Really good to me.
Can we start working?
Really soon. The reason why you're using this and not wood glue is because this dries theoretically in 10 seconds and we are in a hurry to work, so we use this kind of glue just to be quicker. Otherwise we need to wait until tomorrow and we still have a lot of hours today to work and we want to work, so it's almost ready. Is that right?
Yeah.
And also we realized that it was going to be a lot of work to do as we planned. So now we came up with a different design. So let's show you the design that we want to build now. So the original idea was to glue all like this, but I don't believe we have enough wood for that. So now we change for that. We're gonna do horizontal instead of vertically, but we know it's not strong enough, so we're gonna have a plywood on the bottom to make sure we hold everything together. And this is gonna become like a finishing, just like a... That's just the plan. We might change. Wait until the end, you're gonna know if that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's the first time we see our office table. That's long.
Yeah.
That's a huge table actually. I like it. It's like a meeting table. So now we have the canvas to work. So basically we're gonna do the same for every piece of wood, and then we're gonna cut the ends to make sure it's square, and then we're gonna glue the table. I think it's gonna look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like parallel. And in the end, if it's not 100% square, we're gonna sand on the top, and you can plane the top if you want, so it's fine. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Next.
Let's do the first glue up. Are you scared for that?
Well, that's how it's gonna be until tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the first glue up, like the huge thing that we do.
Isn't that cute?
That's gonna look pretty cool.
Yeah.
See you guys
Tomorrow.
Let's see how it looks.
It looks like a bird.
Yeah, we have some drawings, natural shapes.
I like this one with dots.
Yeah, now we need to keep going. Are you guys ready for the biggest glue up, for us at least, ever? That's so cool. This used to be our wooden deck, and now after so much love, the wood even seems like a different kind of wood actually. Now we need to glue this up all on there. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Isn't that cool? That's amazing. We've been imagining this for such a long time.
It's stronger than
Yeah.
we thought.
And we thought it would be a lot weaker, but not bad at all. That's pretty cool. We have a few explanations we need to give you before we finish this episode, but for now, just let us appreciate the table a little bit. Just give me just like 5 seconds. That's pretty cool. Well, it's time to explain something. A small detail. I know it seems confusing that we didn't finish all around the table, right? There are a lot of blank spots around. The reason for that is because we didn't have enough wood to make thicker the table, and we think would look a lot better if it was a little bit thicker. So we did on this way so we can pretend in the future that this is thicker. How we're gonna do that? Yeah, I'm gonna explain. The last layer of wood, instead of being this thick, we're gonna do with something like this thick. Imagine that this is one piece of wood and that we can cut this shape on this piece of wood, and then you're gonna come here and glue like this. So in the end you're gonna think that every small piece of wood is this thickness. You know what I mean? I don't know if it sounds confusing, but makes sense. In the future you'll see. We are not gonna do this now because the only reason why we built this table now is because we wanted to get rid of all these pieces of wood, because it's hard to move them around when we need to work inside of the house. So now it's much easier to move this whole, huge piece of wood, and it's also easier to use as a bench to work while we work on the building. And in the future, when we start building actually the office, we can finish the table and we can sand the top, we can apply, stain or varnishing or something, some kind of finishing on top, and then we're gonna do this last part. That's not gonna be now, but
that's the idea for now. We can change our minds.
Don't say that. They're not gonna believe on us. We keep changing our minds. Yeah, but basically the idea for now is this. If we find something better, you can let us know in the comment section below. We are glad to read all the comments and see if we find a better idea. But for now, that's how we're gonna finish the table in the future. And also we are thinking on adding some kind of structure underneath the table, just to make sure this won't flex that much, because we want a table that we can sit on the top of it. We don't want something that, I don't like a table that I cannot sit on the top. So we are thinking on having a metal bar on the bottom, just to make sure we have a lot of strength, or maybe a fat piece of wood. We're not sure, but don't need to be now, in the future. So if you have any idea, any solution, just let us know.
Well, since the beginning of the building of the wooden deck, we knew we would want to use the leftovers of the wooden deck, and we knew we want to build this table. So now it's here.
Yeah, I mean, I was always curious to do a big glue up, as we always watch on YouTube, like people building like huge tables with a lot of, small pieces and gluing them all together. Seems fun, but scary at the same time, but I wanted to try. Yeah. Of course, it's not that easy. Of course, we have small mistakes, but for who it is, as we always say, for amateurs like us, looks perfect. Yeah. We love it. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, it's gonna be amazing for years to look to the table that we work all the time on the top and know that these are pieces of the wooden deck we worked for months. Yeah. That was like a lot of sweat.
This was the first time that work with wood. Yeah. Was not that easy, and this is part of the hard work.
Yeah, that was probably like the toughest work so far, to build the wooden deck. Yeah. And this is a small part of that. Yeah. And we are always going to remember, because we use a lot the desk, we use a lot the computer, and we are always going to see, these small drawings that we have, like all these details of each piece of wood, and that's pretty cool. Yeah. Now we can say goodbye, because we talked too much on this episode already. You? Yeah, I talked too much. Yeah, you guys have a good week, and if you like what you watch, of course, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe is just easy.
And give us a like.
Give us a thumbs up. Yeah, just leave us a thumbs up. And if you subscribe, it's because you like. If you don't like, you don't need to subscribe. But if you subscribe, you can come back next Monday, and we're gonna have a brand new episode like we do every Monday. See you guys next week.